Hi, I'm Sarah. Today I'm going to read you the story of Megan, which is titled like this. My sister left her 4 kids at my doorstep, saying just 1 hour, but never came back. 10 years later, she showed up with a lawyer accusing me of kidnapping them. But when I showed the secret video to the judge, she turned pale. Well, let's go. My name is Megan Mitchell, and I'm 55 years old now. But this story starts 10 years ago when I was 45 and working as a nurse at a hospital in Sacramento. I had a younger sister named Emily Turner. She was always the wild one in our family. She got married young to a guy named Jason, and they had 4 kids really fast. Ethan was born first, then Olivia 2 years later, then Sophia 2 years after that, and finally Liam. By the time Emily was 30, she had 4 kids under the age of 8. I could tell the marriage was falling apart. Jason and Emily fought all the time. Emily would call me complaining about how hard it was to take care of 4 kids, about how she'd given up her whole life for them, about how she felt trapped. Then one day they got divorced. Jason moved out. Emily got the kids. I lived alone in a small rented house in Sacramento. I worked at the hospital, mostly day shifts. My life was simple. I paid my bills, went to work, came home. I didn't have kids of my own. Never got married. I was okay with that. One Saturday afternoon, about 6 months after Emily's divorce, my doorbell rang. I opened it and saw Emily standing there with all 4 kids. Ethan was 8, Olivia was 6, Sophia was 4, and Liam was only 2. Hey, Megan, Emily said. She looked tired. Can you watch the kids for an hour? I need to run some errands. Sure, I said. I loved my nieces and nephews. I didn't get to see them as often as I wanted. Emily handed me a bag. There's diapers and snacks in here. I'll be back soon. She left before I could ask any questions. The kids came inside. Ethan and Olivia ran to my couch and turned on the TV. Sophia held onto my leg. Liam was crying because he wanted his mom. I picked up Liam and held him. It's okay, buddy. Your mom will be back soon. An hour passed, then 2 hours, then 3. I tried calling Emily. No answer. I called again. Still no answer. I looked in the bag Emily had left. At the bottom, under the diapers, I found a note written on a torn piece of paper. I'll be back soon. Thank you, Megan. That was it. Nothing else. I kept calling Emily's phone. It rang a few times, then went straight to voicemail. Then the next day, the phone was disconnected completely. I sent emails to the last address I had for her. They all bounced back. I called our parents. They lived in a small house outside Sacramento. They were retired and living on a fixed income. Mom, have you heard from Emily? I asked. No, honey. Why? My mom said. I told her what happened. My mom went quiet. She wouldn't just leave them, my mom finally said. She'll come back. But days passed, then a week, then 2 weeks. Emily didn't come back. I realized then that she wasn't coming back at all. She'd left her 4 kids with me and disappeared. I had to figure out what to do. I couldn't just abandon these kids. They were my nieces and nephews. They were family. I enrolled Ethan and Olivia in the local elementary school. I found a babysitter for Sophia and Liam during the day while I was at work. But money became a huge problem almost immediately. I was making decent money as a nurse, but it was just enough for me. Not for 5 people. I started working night shifts because they paid a little more. I'd work from 7 at night until 7 o'clock in the morning, come home exhausted, sleep for a few hours, then get up to take care of the kids. I bought their school supplies at Target and Walmart, looking for the cheapest options. I bought their clothes at thrift stores and discount places. I cooked dinner every night, simple things like spaghetti, chicken, rice, and beans. Things that were cheap and could feed 5 people. I helped Ethan and Olivia with their homework every evening. Even when I was so tired, I could barely keep my eyes open. I gave up everything for myself. I stopped buying new clothes. I wore my old nurse scrubs until they had holes in them. I stopped getting coffee at Starbucks in the morning. I stopped going out with friends. I didn't take a vacation for years. The kids asked about Emily constantly. Ethan would ask directly, when is mom coming back? She's working on some things, I'd tell him. She needs time. Olivia would draw pictures and cards. "Can we send this to Mom?" she'd ask. "Not right now, sweetie," I'd say. Sophia thought Emily left because of her. One night, she came to me crying. "Did Mommy leave because I was bad?" she asked. "No, baby," I said, hugging her. "Your mommy left because she had problems. It had nothing to do with you." Liam was so young when Emily left that he barely remembered her. I applied for social assistance. A caseworker came to the house to check on us. She looked around, talked to the kids, talked to me. "These children are thriving," she said. "You're doing a good job despite the difficulties." She approved us for child benefits as a low-income family. It helped, but it still wasn't enough. My friend Jennifer helped me out. She'd bring over casseroles and meals. She'd watch the kids sometimes when I had to work extra shifts. She was a lifesaver. My parents sent money when they could, but they were living on a small pension. They couldn't help much. The years went by. Ethan got into high school and fell in love with science. He was smart, really smart. He got good grades and talked about going to college. Olivia joined the school choir. She had a beautiful voice. I'd go to all her concerts, sitting in the audience feeling proud. Sophia started taking ballet classes. I scraped together the money for lessons and a used leotard. She loved it. Liam played football. He was fast and athletic. I'd go to his games on Saturdays, cheering him on from the stands. I missed work sometimes to go to parent-teacher conferences. I missed shifts to go to school events. My boss wasn't always happy about it, but I didn't care. These kids needed me. 2 years ago, my parents died. My mom went first, then my dad 6 months later. They left their house to me. It was worth about $450,000. It was the only thing of value they had. I kept the house. I didn't sell it. I was saving it for the kids, for their future. I started renting it out, and the money helped us a lot. 10 years after Emily left, I was 55 years old. The kids were grown. Then one day, Emily came back. She showed up at my door on a Tuesday afternoon. I was home between shifts when the doorbell rang. I opened the door, and there she was. She looked different. Her hair was styled. Her clothes were expensive-looking. She had a man with her, tall and wearing a suit. "Hello, Megan," Emily said. Her voice was cold. I just stared at her. 10 years. 10 years without a word. And now she was standing on my doorstep. "Can we come in?" the man asked. "Who are you?" I said. "I'm Michael Johnson," he said. "I'm Emily's lawyer." Emily pushed past me into the house. The lawyer followed. The kids were all home. Ethan was in his room studying. Olivia was practicing a song. Sophia was doing homework at the kitchen table. Liam was watching TV. They all looked up when Emily walked in. For a moment, nobody said anything. Then Ethan stood up. "Mom." Emily barely glanced at him. She didn't hug any of the kids. She didn't even smile at them. "Megan, we need to talk," Emily said. The lawyer pulled out some papers from his briefcase. He handed them to me. "This is a court notice," he said. "Emily is filing for custody of her children." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. "What?" "You've been illegally detaining my children for 10 years, Emily said. "I want them back." The kids heard everything. They all came closer, gathering behind me. Ethan stood right next to me. Olivia grabbed my arm. Sophia was crying. Liam looked confused. "You left them," I said. My voice was shaking. "You abandoned them 10 years ago." "That's not true," Emily said. "I left them temporarily because I was going through a difficult time. I always planned to come back." "You never called," I said. "You never wrote. You disappeared because you wouldn't let me see them." Emily said it was a lie. A complete lie. But she said it so confidently, like it was the truth. The lawyer cleared his throat. "We'll see you in court, Ms. Mitchell. The hearing is scheduled for 3 weeks from now." They left just like that. The kids were all looking at me. Ethan's face was hard. Olivia was crying. Sophia was shaking. Liam came and hugged my leg. "Aunt Megan, we don't want to go with her," Ethan said. "You're not going anywhere," I said. But inside, I was terrified. That night, after I put the kids to bed, I sat at the kitchen table and thought about why Emily was really back. It wasn't about the kids. She hadn't even looked at them properly. She hadn't asked how they were doing or what they'd been up to. Then it hit me, the house. My parents' house that they'd left to me. It was worth $450,000. Emily wanted the house. She wanted money. She was using the kids as leverage to force me to sell the house and give her a share. I wasn't going to let that happen. The next morning, I started gathering evidence. I found the note Emily had left in the diaper bag 10 years ago. I'd kept it all these years. I found old text messages from Emily. Messages where she'd asked me for money and never mentioned the kids. Then I remembered Jason, Emily's ex-husband. He'd gone to prison about a year after Emily left the kids. He'd spent 7 years there and got out a couple years ago. He'd never been involved in raising the kids. The kids couldn't have gone to him even if they'd wanted to. But after he got out, I'd let him see the kids sometimes, supervised visits. He was trying to do better. I found his number and called him. "Jason, it's Megan," I said. "Emily's back. She's trying to get custody." Jason was quiet for a moment. "I'm not surprised. She probably needs money. Did she ever contact you about the kids?" I asked. "Not once," Jason said. "She never asked how they were doing. It's like they didn't exist for her." Then Jason said something that changed everything. "I have something you need to see," he said. "A video. Emily doesn't know I have it." I drove to Jason's apartment that afternoon. He lived about 30 minutes away. He let me in, and we sat down in his living room. He pulled out his phone and opened a video. "This was taken about a year after Emily left the kids with you. She was at a bar with some friends. My friend was there too, but she didn't see him. He recorded this." He played the video. In it, Emily was sitting at a bar, laughing and drinking with people I didn't recognize. "For kids was just too much," Emily said in the video. She was smiling. "I couldn't do it anymore. I needed to start over, you know. New life, new guy. Let Megan deal with them." Her friends laughed. Emily kept talking. "Honestly, it's better this way. I'm free now. I can actually live my life." The video ended. I felt sick. "Can I use this in court?" I asked Jason. "Absolutely," he said. "I'll testify too if you need me to." I went home and called a lawyer. His name was David Ross, and my friend Jennifer had recommended him. I went to his office the next day and showed him everything: the note, the text messages, and the video Jason had given me. David watched the video twice. Then he looked at me. "This is good," he said. "Really good. Emily is going to have a hard time explaining this." The 3 weeks before the court hearing were the longest of my life. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was terrified that a judge would take the kids away from me and give them to Emily. The kids were scared too. Olivia cried herself to sleep at night. Sophia had nightmares. Liam asked me every day if he had to go live with Emily. "No, baby," I'd tell him. "You're staying with me." But I didn't know if that was true. Finally, the day of the hearing arrived. We all went to the courthouse together. All 4 kids came with me. David said it was important for the judge to see them. Emily was already there with her lawyer, Michael Johnson. She was wearing an expensive dress and jewelry. She looked like she had money. We went into the courtroom and sat down. Judge Robert Davis came in and everyone stood up. The hearing was about to begin. Emily's lawyer, Michael Johnson, started first. He was smooth and competent. "Your Honor," he said, "my client, Emily Turner, left her children in the temporary care of her sister 10 years ago due to severe personal difficulties. She always intended to return for them. However, Megan Mitchell refused to allow Emily access to her own children. My client has been denied the right to see her children for a decade." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was all lies. My lawyer, David Ross, stood up. "Your Honor, that's completely false. I have evidence that proves otherwise." He pulled out the note Emily had left in the diaper bag. He showed it to the judge. "This note says, 'I'll be back soon.' That was 10 years ago. Miss Turner never came back. She disconnected her phone. She never sent letters or emails. She abandoned these children." Then David showed the judge the text messages from Emily asking Megan for money. Not a single message asking about the kids or how they were doing. "Your Honor," David said, Ms. Turner had no interest in these children. She only came back because Ms. Mitchell inherited a house worth $450,000. This isn't about the children. It's about money. Emily's lawyer objected. That's speculation, Your Honor. Is it? David said. Miss Turner, where have you been for the past 10 years? Emily stood up. I was dealing with depression and personal issues. I needed time to get myself together so I could be a good mother. And in those 10 years, how many times did you call your children? David asked. Emily hesitated. I tried, but Megan blocked me. That's a lie, I said, standing up. The judge looked at me. Ms. Mitchell, did you attempt to contact Miss Turner after she left the children? Yes, Your Honor, I said. I called her dozens of times. I sent emails. I asked my parents to try to find her. She disappeared completely. Then the judge did something I wasn't expecting. He asked to speak to the children. Ethan went first. He was 18 now, almost a man. He stood in front of the judge with his shoulders straight. Your Honor, Ethan said, Aunt Megan has been our mother for 10 years. She worked night shifts to pay for our food and clothes. She helped us with homework even when she was exhausted. She went to every parent-teacher conference and every school event. She's the only mother we know. The judge nodded. What do you want, Ethan? I want to stay with Aunt Megan, Ethan said. We all do. Olivia went next. She was crying, but she spoke clearly. I don't want to go with her, Olivia said, pointing at Emily. Aunt Megan is our family. She's always been there for us. Sophia was shaking when she stood up. Emily was never around. She left us. Aunt Megan loved us when nobody else did. Liam was the youngest. He looked scared standing in front of the judge. I only know Aunt Megan, he said. She's my home. I was crying watching them. These kids I'd raised, they were standing up for me. Then the courtroom door opened. Jason Turner walked in. Emily's face went white when she saw him. Your Honor, Jason said, I'm Jason Turner, Emily's ex-husband and the father of these children. I have evidence you need to see. David nodded at him. Jason pulled out his phone and showed the judge the video. The judge watched it. His face got harder as the video played. I could hear Emily's voice from the phone. For kids was just too much. I couldn't do it anymore. I needed to start over. Let Megan deal with them. When the video ended, there was complete silence in the courtroom. Then people started whispering. The kids looked shocked. They'd never known the real reason their mother left. Emily stood up. Your Honor, I was in a bad place. I was young and depressed. I said things I didn't mean. But I always planned to come back for my children. 10 years, the judge said. His voice was cold. You had 10 years to come back. You never did until now. Why now, Miss Turner? Emily didn't answer. The judge looked at all the evidence. He looked at the kids. He looked at me. Then he looked at Emily. I've heard enough, Judge Robert Davis said. Miss Turner, your claim that you were denied access to your children is unsupported by any evidence. The evidence clearly shows you intentionally abandoned these children. Ms. Mitchell has provided a stable, loving home for them for 10 years. He paused. I am denying your petition for custody. Full custody is granted to Megan Mitchell. Furthermore, I am issuing a 7-year restraining order. You are prohibited from contacting these children without court approval. Emily started crying. Your Honor, please. They're my children. They were your children, the judge said. You gave them up when you walked away. The hearing was over. We won. The kids hugged me. Ethan was crying. Olivia was crying. We all were. Emily left the courtroom with her lawyer. She didn't look back at the kids. Not even once. In the weeks after the trial, I learned more about Emily's situation. She'd been living way beyond her means. She had an expensive apartment in San Francisco that she was renting. She drove a Tesla, also rented. She couldn't actually afford any of it. She'd been hoping to get part of the house money to keep up her lifestyle. When that didn't work, everything fell apart. She had huge legal fees from the trial. She couldn't pay her rent. She had to give back the Tesla. She was in serious debt. We moved into my parents' house, the one they'd left to me. It was bigger than my rental, with enough room for everyone. The kids each got their own bedroom. Ethan graduated from high school with honors. He got accepted to UC Davis to study biology. I was so proud of him. Olivia was excelling in school. She was the lead singer in her choir. She had a beautiful voice, and colleges were already interested in her. Sophia joined the school dance team. She was talented and dedicated. She practiced every day. Liam became a star player in his football league. He was fast and strong. Coaches said he had a real future in the sport. 3 months after the trial, I ran into someone who knew Emily. She told me Emily had moved to a cramped apartment in Modesto. She was working as a cashier at a local supermarket, making minimum wage. I wasn't happy about it. I didn't gloat, but I also couldn't forgive her for abandoning her children and then trying to take them back only for money. Life settled into a new normal after the trial. The kids stopped calling me Aunt Megan. They just called me Mom now. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Because that's what I was to them. The first time Liam called me Mom after the trial, I was making dinner. He came into the kitchen and said, "Mom, can I have a snack?" I stopped what I was doing and looked at him. "What did you call me?" He looked confused. "Mom, is that okay?" I pulled him into a hug. "Yes, baby. That's more than okay." Ethan left for UC Davis in the fall. I drove him to the campus and helped him move into his dorm. He was studying biology and loving it. He called me every Sunday to tell me about his classes and his new friends. Olivia was thriving in high school. She was still in the choir, and she'd gotten the lead in the school musical. I went at every performance, sitting in the front row and cheering louder than anyone else. She was also getting interest from colleges. Several schools had reached out to her about music scholarships. She was going to have options. Sophia was on the school dance team now. She practiced constantly, always working to get better. She had performances every few months, and I never missed one. She was beautiful when she danced, graceful and confident. Liam was doing great in football. He was one of the best players in his league. Coaches from bigger programs were starting to notice him. He was only 12, but people were saying he could get a scholarship someday if he kept it up. I was still working as a nurse, but I'd switched back to day shifts. I didn't need to work nights anymore. The house was paid off, and with the child benefits and my salary, we had enough. The kids had everything they needed. That was all that mattered to me. My friend Jennifer still came over regularly. She'd helped me so much over the years, and now she was like family. The kids called her Aunt Jennifer. "You did an amazing job with them," she told me one day while we were having coffee. "Look at how they turned out." "They did the work," I said. "I just gave them a stable place to grow." "Don't sell yourself short," Jennifer said. "You sacrificed everything for them." Not many people would do that. I thought about Emily sometimes, about where she was and what she was doing. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she was still in Modesto, still working at the supermarket, still living in that cramped apartment. She was alone. Her flashy friends from San Francisco had all moved on. The people who used to come to her parties didn't want anything to do with her after the trial. Her choices had consequences. She'd chosen money and freedom over her children, and now she had neither. I didn't feel good about it. I didn't celebrate her downfall. But I also didn't feel sorry for her. She'd made her choices. She'd abandoned 4 little kids who needed her. She'd only come back when she thought she could get money. The restraining order was still in effect. She couldn't contact the kids for 7 years. By the time it expired, Ethan would be 25, Olivia would be 23, Sophia would be 21, and Liam would be 19. They'd all be adults. Maybe then they'd decide if they wanted to talk to her. That would be their choice to make, not mine. But for now, they were my kids. I was their mom, and I was going to keep taking care of them the way I always had. One Sunday afternoon, we were all sitting in the living room together. Ethan was home from college for the weekend. Olivia was practicing a song. Sophia was stretching for dance practice. Liam was playing a video game. "Hey, Mom," Ethan said. "Can we talk for a minute?" "Sure, honey," I said. The other kids stopped what they were doing. They all gathered around. "We wanted to tell you something," Ethan said. The other kids nodded. "What is it?" I asked. "We know what you gave up for us," Olivia said. "We know you worked night shifts and never took vacations. We know you spent all your money on us. We want you to know we appreciate it," Sophia added. "You're the best mom anyone could ask for," Liam said. I started crying. I couldn't help it. "You don't have to thank me," I said. "Being your mom is the best thing that ever happened to me." "We're going to take care of you when we're older," Ethan said. "The way you took care of us." "You already take care of me," I said. "Every day, just by being who you are." We all hugged. All 5 of us in a big group hug in the middle of the living room. That night, after the kids went to bed, I sat on the porch and thought about the last 10 years. About that day Emily left 4 scared kids on my doorstep. About all the struggles and the sleepless nights and the fear that I wouldn't be enough. But I was enough. The kids were proof of that. They were happy and healthy and thriving. Emily had tried to take them from me. She'd tried to use them to get money, but she'd failed. Because these kids weren't just my nieces and nephews anymore. They were my children, and I was their mother. Nothing was ever going to change that. I thought about my parents, about how they'd left me that house. They'd probably known somehow that I'd need it, that the kids would need it. "Thank you," I whispered into the night air, hoping somehow they could hear me. The future was bright. Ethan was going to be a scientist. Olivia was going to be a singer. Sophia was going to be a dancer. Liam was going to be an athlete. Or maybe they'd change their minds and do something completely different. It didn't matter. They had me and I had them. And that was enough.